Welcome back to another video of a Python tutorial series for beginners, and in this video we're going to be going over tuples. So what are tuples? So tuples are actually really similar to lists, however they are immutable, which means that an element inside the tuple cannot be changed after it is assigned in the tuple. And a tuple uses parentheses, and we will see what it... So let's go into the idle and see some examples. Okay, so to define a tuple, it's similar to defining any other type of object structure. So let's start off by naming your tuple. So let's just call it T for now, and we put our equal sign and then our parentheses. So as you can see, after we use the parentheses, it kind of highlighted, meaning that we've created a tuple. But now let's actually put things inside of it. So let's say 1, 2, 3. Now here we have a tuple of 3 numbers. So let's say let's print out our tuple. We get 1, 2, 3. We can take the length of our tuple, and we'll get 3. So as you can see, there's a lot of similar traits as a list, but and it can also contain multiple types of objects, such as a list, similar to a list, such as a string, say 1, and then integer and a floating point. So we can print it out, and as you can see, we still have everything. So it's really similar to lists, but except for one part about the methods. The methods that a tuple has is really limited, as opposed to what a list has. For example, if we do t dot, these are our methods available. As you can see, there's only 2, whereas a list or any other object structure would usually have plenty of methods to count. But first we have count and then index. So what the count method does is it counts how many times a certain object occurs in the tuple, and the index finds out in which index the tuple is. The object is. So let's get an example. So let's say t equals 1, and let's repeat it a couple times. And I'll say 2, 3, 3, and here we go. So here is our tuple with multiple types of objects and repeating objects. So let's use the method now. So t.count, and let's say 1. Or so t.count. So t.count, and let's type in the object that we want to count, which is 1. Now let's see what happens. So as you can see, we got 2, and it shows 2 because we can see that there are 2 times where this object, the string of 1, occurs. And now let's try with the other one, t.count 3, and same thing, we get 2 because there's 2 times where this 3 appeared. And now let's try the index method. So t.index. So what this does is basically we can find out the index of an object in the tuple, and it returns, as you can see here, it says return first index of value. So we give it a value, and it will return the index of the time it first appears in the tuple. So for example, index of 2. Now this should equal 2 because this is the 0th index, this is the first index, and this is the second index, which is where our 2 lands. But now what happens if we do the same thing except with the repeating object? For example, 3. Like, it says 3, but isn't there also an index at 4? Yes, there is, but the index method only returns the index of the first time that object appears in the tuple. And yeah, so those are the basics of tuples. They can't be changed. So after we've assigned the tuple, we can't go back into it. We can't call the index of an object in the tuple and actually assign it to something else. You can only do that with like lists and dictionaries, but not with a tuple. So yeah, that kind of wraps up this short video about tuples, and I hope you learned something from this video. If you didn't, you might learn something from our future videos, so make sure to check out for those. And yeah, thanks for watching.